On the news tonight, Mrs. Soludo assures justice for women or woman burned to death by husband. Anambra communities urged to reclaim their localities from criminals. Nigerians called to prepare for nationwide boycott of telecom services over hike in tariff. On the foreign scene, Trump to sanction Russia over Ukraine war. Before the news in detail, here is a special message. In the Anambra, the dry season is here again. Avoid indiscriminate bush burning. Switch off electrical appliances when not in use, and avoid burning tires on tarred road to maintain a clean and green Anambra state. Good evening and thanks for joining us on ABS Evening News. My name is Chinyere Ikoreke. Anambra State Governor's wife, Mrs. Nonye Soludo, has vowed to follow up closely on the case of a man who allegedly set his wife on fire in Abagana, in Jikoka local government area, until full justice is served. The governor's wife made the disclosure after receiving details of the viral incident from the Commissioner for Women and Children Affairs, Mrs. Ife Obinabo, and her health counterpart, Dr. Afam Obidike, whom she has said or directed to immediately visit the scene of the incident. The victim, Mrs. Blessing Chioma Waka, a mother of 5 boys, was seen in a viral glory clip on social media, scrapping for safety while crying or carrying a 3rd-degree burn around her torso and other parts of her body area. According to eyewitnesses, the victim's husband, Mr. Sunday Obiozo Waka, a middle-aged man who, alongside 5 sons, depended on the wife's petty business to survive, emptied a can of fuel on the woman and immediately set her on fire over little family misunderstanding. It was passerby and neighbors who managed to put out the fire, though it had already dealt significant burns on the victim. She was then rushed to a medical facility in Enugu, Njikoka local government area, where she was pronounced dead at around 3 a.m. the next day. The alleged artist has now been taken into custody and would so face prosecution. In her reaction to the incident, which she described as gruesome and evil, Mrs. Soludo vowed to see to the end of the case, insisting that full justice must be made to take prime place in the whole process. She reiterated that the present administration takes issue of domestic violence and abuses as serious crimes, stating that no one who is found guilty of such offenses will be let to walk free. Anambra State Commissioner for Information, Dr. Law Mefo, has revealed that 70% of criminals caught through Operation Udogachi are non-indigenous of the state. Dr. Mefo emphasized that this is why communities in the state must reclaim their localities from criminals. Chibuzo Obidike has details.
The Commissioner stated this in Oka while speaking to journalists and emphasizing the need for them to partner the state government by changing the narrative and increasing reports on the success of Operation Udogachi. According to Dr. Mefo, journalists should be factual in their report by fact-checking statements, insisting that the Soludo administration does not depend on propaganda as it has remained committed to the development of the state through different lofty programs and policies. He warned that the state will fight any individual who is bent on demarcating the state for personal or political reasons, and stated that Operation Udogachi is a unified security outfit that is charged with the responsibility of restoring confidence of citizens and investors.
Anambra State government says the whole education space in the state is one, but administratively and curriculum-wise, the government enforces the use of the right curriculum as specified by the Federal Ministry of Education and as domesticated by the State Ministry of Education. Queen Anibogu reports that the Anambra State Commissioner for Education, Professor Ngozi Chumode, who stated this in her office in Oka, also said that the ministry has qualities assurance oversight over primary and secondary schools run by private individuals and well-known missions. Her report.
Of education and that's domesticated.
Professor Chumude likened private schools to private enterprises where the ministry cannot wade into their school fees, uniforms, and other appurtenances, saying that Governor Chukwuma Soludo has made it possible for every child in Anambra to be educated by making public schools free Professor Chumude explained that if a parent decides to take his child to private school, it is left for such parent to abide by the fees as stipulated by the school. But government can only caution when the high sale of textbooks becomes too rampant. Professor Chumude noted that Governor Soludo is prepared to move the education space in the state to the apex by building more classroom blocks through the Public-Private Community Partnership PPCP initiative. She enjoined everyone involved in the teaching and learning experience in the state to persevere and align with the governor's initiatives on education to move Anambra State education system to the highest heights.
Anambra State education space has been so blessed with a wonderful governor. A governor who has made it possible, who has placed education at the doorsteps of every child. So if a parent is complaining about anything in a private school, the public schools are there.
Queen Anibogo reporting for ABS News.
Principals of secondary schools in Anambra State have been charged not to sabotage the free education policy of Governor Chukwuma Soludo. The chairman, Post-Primary School Service Commission, PPSSC Oka, Professor Nkechi Kedugu, gave the charge during the second-term management meeting of 2024-2025 academic session held at Community Secondary School, Obu. We have details.
In her paper presentation, Professor Ikedugu enumerated some of the benefits of free education as increased access to education, economic growth, higher productivity, and reduction of student debt, among others. The Commission's boss stated ways one can sabotage the free education policy to include collection of illegal levies from students, not admitting students who want to go to school. She also stressed how to ensure sustainability of free education policy by adhering strictly to the government framework, setting clear financial goals, developing financial management principles, and making quality financial decisions.
PPSSC will annually appoint and approve the members of the Budget and Finance Committee of the school, following through with the schools to ensure retirement and onward retirement to final accounts. Conduct an audit of funds to ensure the funds were used for their intended purposes and not diverted for personal use.
The Deputy Chairperson, PPSSC, Professor Naomi Samuel, presenting a paper on discipline as a crucial component of education in Anambra, said that discipline is fundamental for education, provides a framework within which effective learning and character development occurs, adding that without discipline, most people will not be where they are today.
The executive and members of Otolonewi Dynamic Club have been officially inaugurated. The 61 members of the club were officially inaugurated at the Anedo Hall, Obuno, Otolonewi, Anambra State, Nigeria, alongside their executive. Justice Onyimaobi, who covered the event, takes it from here.
The Otolonewi Dynamic Club was founded on 19th August 2022 with the aim to nurture a spirit of mutual love and peace, extending the support to those in need in the society. Speaking at the event, the president of the club, Mr. Kingsley Ekechukwu, expressed happiness over the success of the event while urging all the members to always abide by the rules guiding the club, which will enable them achieve the goal of establishing the club. In an interview, the founder and chief executive officer, Fela Ejiofor Foundation, Mr. Ndubisi Ejiofor, who is also the chairman organizing committee of the event, thanked the members for supporting the event financially and prayed God to give them wisdom and understanding and enablement to keep the club running.
All the members of this club we're doing well. The club is about 3 years now. We're doing massively well. So today, we have to celebrate everything, and we have to celebrate us and then enjoy ourselves.
On national matters, following the federal government's recent approval of a 50% increase in telecommunication tariffs, the Nigerian Labour Congress had called on Nigerians to prepare for a nationwide boycott of telecommunication services. However, telecommunication companies insisted that the tariff hike is essential for the long-term sustainability of the sector and the improvement of services for subscribers. This came as the federal government or Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission charged the telecommunication companies to prioritize service improvements following the approval to hike telecommunication tariffs. The Nigerian Labour Congress, in a statement on Wednesday, described the increment as a grave injustice to citizens already burdened by economic hardship. Nigerian Labour Congress President Comrade Joe Ajero expressed deep concern over the timing of the hike, which, according to him, coincides with rising inflation and declining purchase power. On the foreign scene, United States President Donald Trump has warned he would impose high tariffs and further sanctions on Russia if our President Vladimir Putin fails to end the war in Ukraine. Writing on his social media platform, Truth Social, he said that by pushing to settle the war, he was doing Russia and its president a very big favor. Trump had previously said that the world negotiate a settlement to Russia's full-scale invasion launched in February 2022 in a single day. Russia had not yet responded to remarks, but senior officials have said in recent days that there is a small window of opportunity for Moscow to deal with the new U.S. administration. Putin has said repeatedly that he is prepared to negotiate an end to the war, which first began in 2014, but that Ukraine would have to accept the reality of Russia's territorial gains, which are currently about 20% of its land. He also refused to allow Ukraine to join NATO, the military alliance of Western countries. In sport, ahead of the Under-17 CAF competition scheduled to commence from 31st March to 14th April, scouting and trial for Golden Eaglets has commenced at City Stadium, Oka, to fortify the nation's or national team. Joseph Ibo-Chafal in the report.
Speaking as screening exercise for the footballers, the Under-17 national team coach, Garuba Manu, said that players for the national team will be selected based on merit and age brackets, and commended the Anambra FA for making the event possible in the state, first of its kind. He expressed concern that some states do not have infrastructure to encourage young talent in sports, calling on government intervention because of economic benefits in sports.
Even after picking players here, they will have to undergo that MRI test. And after passing, they have to fight for places in the team with other players selected across the country. Players picked from here and other centers too will have to contest with those players that are represented Nigeria in the Under-17. If they are good enough and better, then they can play for the country.
Anambra FA chairman Chikeluo Ilenyesi, who was at the event, described it as part of ways of engaging the youths meaningfully.
If they pick them, they pick them. So nobody is giving anybody $1. This is coming out for not only, you can see that this is not only Anambra State. You can see when there's, because a lot of people are coming from Atlant everywhere. So this is almost like Southeast program. When they pick any player, after picking the players, the people who have the players will go and pay money for them to do MRI tests to make sure they are under the age they need.
That's the size of our package tonight, but remember that you can follow news and programs on ABS from any part of the world by liking our Facebook page at Anambra Broadcasting Service. Subscribe to our YouTube page at ABS Television Oka, on X at ABS Radio TV, on Instagram at ABS Radio TV. You can also follow us on our website at www.absradiotv.com. The main point again. Mrs. Soludo has assured justice for women burned to death by her husband. Anambra communities have been urged to reclaim their localities from criminals. Nigerians called to prepare for nationwide boycott of telecom services over hike in tariff. And on the foreign scene, we told you Trump to sanction Russia over Ukraine war. To end the news, there is a special message. In the Anambra, the dry season is here again. Avoid indiscriminate bush burning, switch off electrical appliances when not in use, and avoid burning tires on tarred roads to maintain a clean and green Anambra state. Thanks for staying with us. My name is Chinyere Ikioreke. Good night.